SpongeBob SquarePants Mysteries Stage Fright. Chapter 18. So the king was coming! That changed things. Not as far as I was concerned. Me, I wanted to crack the case whether the guy with the crown showed up or not. I wanted to do it for Pearl, for Squidward, and for Bikini Bottom. But it did change things for Martin Dorado. Now that he knew King Neptune was definitely coming to his musical's opening night, he'd pushed even harder for it to be the greatest show Bikini Bottom had ever seen. And maybe, just maybe, it meant whoever was trying to stop the show would work even harder to shut the thing down. But if the culprit was working harder, well, so was I. When SpongeBob and Sandy arrived at the Droopy Lane Theater that night, Martin Dorado was trying out another possible ending. No longer content to sit in the house behind his desk next to Emma, the director was right up on stage adjusting the actors' movements down to the smallest flicks of their fins. The dancing, the singing, the acting, everything had to be absolutely perfect, especially now that King Neptune had promised to attend opening night. Again! Martin Dorado said, flipping his scarf back over his shoulder. From the top! The actors took their places for the beginning of the number, a dreamy atmospheric song about the mystical power of snails. Wearing colorful shell costumes, the performers began to sing in beautiful harmony. Snails! We are snails! Mysterious, marvelous, magnificent snails! From our eyes perched on stalks to the tips of our tails, we are snails! We are snails! We are snails! Meow, 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 meow! Moving slowly, the actors slid across the stage, circling around each other in hypnotic patterns. They'd spent hours practicing moving just like snails, slowly but steadily. Their costumes left glittering trails of fake slime across the stage. At one point in the number, the lights lowered and the slime trails glowed, spelling out the word, snails! Watching the rehearsal, SpongeBob whispered to Sandy, I sure wish Gary could see this. I don't think pets are allowed in the theater, Sandy whispered back. This had better be the last number in the show, SpongeBob muttered. Otherwise, someone will have to run up between numbers and clean up all that fake slime. Probably the head cleaner, Sandy whispered, smiling. Exactly, SpongeBob whispered. He kept watching the stage closely, worried that the saboteur might try something when the lights went dim to show the glowing slime. But the performers reached the end of the number without a mishap, striking snail poses all over the stage. Together, they all sang one final meow to end the song. But then Patrick stuck his head out of his snail costume. Looks like we've all been soaked in a shower of mucus, he declaimed loudly. The other actor sniggered, but Martin Dorado wasn't amused. He pulled his beret down as far as it could go over his head and stomped over to Patrick. What do you think you're doing? Patrick thought for a moment. Being in a show? No, I mean... Oh, Patrick said. I know! Being a snail in a show! Meow, 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 meow! The director rubbed his temples. He had a splitting headache, and Patrick wasn't helping it. I mean, he said, speaking slowly and deliberately. Why did you speak at the end of the song? Patrick looked confused. Because it's my line! I'm supposed to say it! You told me to say it! I certainly did not tell you to say anything about being soaked in mucus! Dorado hissed. But we are, Patrick pointed out. Because we're snails! He pointed to all the glittering trails of fake slime crisscrossing the stage. Mucus is a fancy word for slime! He smiled proudly. I looked it up. The director looked at him curiously for a moment. If this was a show from earlier in my career, I'd applaud your highly original choice. But I have much more at stake now, and your line is, looks like we've all been saved by the power of music, not mucus. Music! Thinking the director yelling music was her cue to start playing the snail number again, the rehearsal pianist began the song all over. The actors started singing. Snails! We are Stop! Dorado bellowed, waving his arms. The piano and singers fell silent. He turned back to Patrick. That's your line, but you don't deliver it now. I don't? Patrick asked, confused again. But you said my line comes at the end of the show. Isn't this the end of the show? The director shook his head, exhausted. No, I don't think so. It's not working. I need to try a different number, but first I need to think. He spoke to the whole cast. Let's take a short break. He composed himself and turned on his heel, walked off the stage and headed up the aisle to his table in the house. Now, where's that list of possible ending songs? He muttered to himself, searching through the stacks of notes and script pages. SpongeBob turned to Sandy. This looks like a good time to ask Mr. Dorado about giving the theater's concessions contract to Mr. Krabs. He turned off toward the He hurried off toward the director. It does? Sandy asked. Are you sure? Stay tuned for Chapter 19 coming up soon.